This is the JAFO Report.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're listening. We're talking about gasoline prices, the thing that makes every Canadian driver punch the steering wheel. We're doing it through Jim Stanford, the Canadian economist who looks at the pump and says, this isn't supply and demand, this is speculation and greed. You've heard the story. A war starts halfway across the world, and within 24 hours, gasoline rises up to 50 cents a litre across Canada, as if the fuel in your tank remembered it came from a war zone. Stanford says this isn't just global market sneezing. Canadian oil is priced globally, not regionally. And companies reset prices at the rack on current markets, not on what it costs to refine the gas you're buying today. You pay for today's headline, not yesterday's barrel. Was it always this way? No. In the 1970s and early 1980s, Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau's Liberal government kept Canadian oil prices below world levels through the National Energy Program, which angered Western producers. But in 1985, Prime Minister Brian Mulroney's progressive Conservative government signed the Western Accord on Energy, ending price controls and letting producers sell oil on the world market at world prices. That's when Canadian gas became a global commodity that spikes whenever the world sneezes. So you fill up, paying for today's headline. Who profits? Canadian oil companies made $150 billion in after-tax profit in the 2022 oil price shock. That's according to Stanford. That's not a whisper, that's a roar. Meanwhile, you're deciding whether to drive to work or ride your e-bike in the rain. Is there an Indigenous component? Well, not in Stanford's core gasoline argument. He isn't saying prices are high because of Indigenous land rights or treaties, but he works in solidarity with Indigenous peoples, has written on Indigenous democracy and labor rights, and acknowledges the broader context of economic policy. He's also agreed climate action can benefit from Indigenous seventh-generation thinking, which is a long way of saying, maybe don't mortgage the next 100 years so the next quarter looks nice. That kind of thinking doesn't show up on your pump receipt, but it should. Stanford is a progressive economist, former longtime economist for Unifor, now director of the Centre for Future Work in Vancouver. He's got a PhD and a Master's of Philosophy from Cambridge, and a reputation for explaining economics without glazing your eyes. He's written books, testified before governments, and taught in Australia. The positive side, he's clear, funny, and on the side of ordinary people. The negative side, if you're a corporate traditionalist, he's unapologetically skeptical of free market fairy tales and calls out speculation openly, which annoys people who think these markets are sacred. Next time you're at the pump, watching numbers climb like a salmon against a waterfall, remember, it's not just world markets, it's market structure, rack pricing, and corporate optimism as to how much you could be asked to pay. If you want economics without corporate incense, Stanford's Economics for Everyone is a good start. Written for folks like us, not MBA students in expensive suits. I appreciate you taking 5 minutes with this boomer. That's my 2 bits worth. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and check out the merch coming soon. Who am I, you ask? Just another friendly observer. Call me JAFO.
The JAFO Report.ca.
The JAFO Report is downloadable from wherever you get your podcasts from. That's the JAFOReport.ca. There was a time I kept putting off guided meditation, until a heart attack in my 60s changed that. Now I record simple, effective guided meditations to help slow you down when your mind won't. Come on over to babblingbrook.life. That's babblingbrook.life.